Oh, the shoulders are out. It must be warm. Let me tell you, it is. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Justy, and today we're going to talk about something that has definitely been talked about a lot before, like a lot. And so you may be thinking, well, Justine, why are you talking about it now? And that would be because it's still popping up as an issue, which is wild to me. I can't believe it. But it is, it's a thing, so we are gonna talk about it today on this channel. Let's go! Making versus buying cosplay. Before we dive in, we're gonna separate this into kind of a couple different categories here. That's gonna help me do some explanations a little bit later on. So, category one is you making your cosplay. Maybe not every single bit, which is valid. I don't make shoes, gross. But you are essentially sewing, crafting, building, whatever it happens to be, your cosplay. Category two is commissioning somebody to make either portions or most of your cosplay, or commission the whole cosplay. This is generally another cosplayer. Doesn't necessarily have to be, it could be a seamstress, but it's essentially smaller stores that are making you items. Option three is buying your cosplay or buying items from your cosplay, and these are from things like mass-produced websites that just make a whole bunch of cosplay items. Like, I can't think of anything. Cosplay Sky, I think that's one. I don't know if it's good or not, but you can just buy homemade cosplays off that. We're going to include those into this category because it's technically not like a small, tiny shop or like a little commissioner making them. You know what I mean? And that includes buying like stuff off Amazon, stuff off eBay, clothes you grabbed off your closet that came from H&M, etc., etc. That goes into that category. So that's our three categories. Now, obviously, bits and pieces of them can overlap. You can make most of your cosplay, but buy the shoes. You can make most of your cosplay, but commission somebody to 3D print you items because you can't 3D print. You could buy all your items off Cosplay Sky, but then you make all the belts for it because you're really great at leather work. Whatever it happens to be, they can be mixed up, okay? The important thing to remember about these three categories is they are all okay. They're all great. There is no right way to cosplay. There is no wrong way to cosplay. And that is something very important we need to talk about that is still being argued about. Everyone cosplays differently and everyone has different skill levels. When I first started out, my very first cosplay happened to have a decent amount of made stuff on it, but that's because I had access to my grandmother. I drove almost an hour and a half away from where I lived to where she lived to work on this sewing stuff together so I could learn, so I could craft a portion of Lady Loki. I bought the heck out of that corset. I was absolutely not in a place where I could even fathom making a corset, and realistically I wasn't going to put my grandmother through that, and it's fine, and I am absolutely proud of that outfit. Some people will never reach the point in which they can exclusively craft everything, and that's fine. I'll tell you right now, I will probably forever, unless it's something super basic like pigtails, buy pre-style wigs. Absolutely, they're more expensive, and I don't go into the crafting process, but I am garbage at styling wigs. Absolutely garbage. And I pay someone else to cut my hair. Why wouldn't I pay someone to cut my wig? So that's a portion of my cosplay that I'll personally never make. And again, that's fine. Any way you do this, it's completely fine. Closet cosplays that are completely purchased and just come out and are the closest thing to the costume you can get, great. That's awesome. Sewing everything, including pouring resin to make shoes, oh my god. Freaking amazing, and I am impressed because I will never be able to make shoes either. Totally fine. Making a cosplay, buying shoes, great. Commissioning somebody to make your entire cosplay, amazing. Why am I reiterating myself? Because I need you guys to understand it's all great. Because you sew does not make you better cosplayer than somebody else. We all do this differently, okay? And just because somebody can't sew does not mean they should not be able to get into cosplay. I'd like to point out that if everybody could sew, and if everybody could make every single item, commissioners wouldn't make any money. So it's kind of good that some people don't want to make things. I don't want a 3D print. I don't want to own a 3D printer in my house. I will always, always, always pay somebody else to 3D print my things, and that's the way it's going to be. There are two instances in which buying your cosplay would result in something bad. This is one, if you're entering some sort of competition, and two, if you are passing these items off as your own, which circles back also to entering a competition. You're claiming you made it. This is when it becomes not cool. If you didn't make something, very openly say you didn't make it. That's it. You have to be open about what you did make, especially if you do make a decent amount of your stuff, because people are going to tend to assume you did make everything then because you make so much, which is fine. Like, it makes sense for people to assume. But if somebody asks me about an item that I didn't make, I will very, very openly say I did not make that. Wednesday Adam dress? Absolutely did not make that. That came from Amazon. Nick Wilde outfit? Did not make a single thing on that, but I did commission somebody to do the ears and the tails and then found the outfit on eBay. So I mixed things up with that one. As I've said before, any of the shoes that I wear, did not make. Sometimes I spray paint shoes that I've purchased and customize them, but I will never, ever, ever, ever make my own shoes. It's not gonna happen. If you are passing somebody else's work off as your own, or entering competitions claiming that you made this stuff so you can win, that's unacceptable. That is also the outlier. That is not extremely common. Does it happen? Absolutely. People lie about things across this hobby and in any hobby, really. But we can't tell people that buying or commissioning cosplay items is bad because a few people who are kind of jerks, realistically here, you know? So, how do you make it clear that you didn't make something? Well, it's super easy. Credit. Credit what you did not make. Super easy. Now, I do have a process for crediting because I recognize it's very hard to credit absolutely everything on an Instagram post. So there's bits and things that I think is not okay to never credit and things that I think are okay to just leave out. But if you're asked about it, you need to be truthful. So here's how I split this up. I think this is fine, and I think this is the way most people do it when they credit. If you personally think that it's wrong, you can totally let me know and credit the way you think is appropriate. But this is generally, I think, a pretty good rule of thumb and works for a lot of people. If you commissioned an item off a cosplayer, if you purchased off a very small store on Etsy or some little boutique, something like that, I would absolutely credit that item. 100%. My Big Mara M came from a 3D printer on Etsy, and I credit that 3D printer every single time. It's handcrafted for me by someone, and my credit could help them get the revenue. I think that's quite important. That's a time when absolutely you should credit. A mass-produced black dress off Amazon, realistically, I don't think is quite as important to credit, or maybe your H&M shoes work perfectly for something. As important to credit, not so much. H&M realistically isn't in the business of making cosplay items, so it doesn't really cost them anything for you to not credit that item. If somebody made you something, absolutely 100% credit it. Just do it. You credit a photographer every single time they made you this image. Why wouldn't you credit the cosplayer who you commissioned to make you a pair of lovely wings? It can help them so much, and it makes it clear that you are not taking ownership of something you didn't make. The people who style my wigs, who aren't me, which when I say people, it's one person, it's Talisa. She's amazing. I credit her in all my Steve photos. I would recommend her always. I credit her in every single post because she created that style. She did not make the wig, and I credit where the wig comes from, but she made that style for me. And again, why wouldn't I support her and help her get other clients maybe who need wig styling? And why wouldn't I admit that I did not style that wig? Because I didn't. I don't want to take ownership of something that I didn't do, and we should never, ever, ever be taking ownership of things we wouldn't do. It's plagiarism. Let's be real here, guys. It's real life plagiarism. Why did I say real life? When you plagiarize writing, that's real life too. But you guys get what I mean. It's stealing. You're stealing. And when you enter competitions with items that you did not make, you are being deceitful. Not only is that also stealing, you're going up and presenting something that you didn't even make. You're cheating yourself, because realistically these competitions are to show off the best of what you can do. and you didn't do it, you know? And it's not fair to the people who did, who are competing truthfully, who made whatever the requirement is, everything except the shoes or everything except one 3D printed item, whatever. I don't look at cosplay contests. I don't need that in my life. But whatever the rules are, you are cheating the other people who worked crazy hard, you know? And I'm not saying you didn't work hard too. I'm sure if you made parts of your outfit, you also worked hard, but you're passing off parts that you didn't work hard on as things that you did. And that's not cool. It's just not cool. I said in my last video about cosplay that there's a lot of toxicity and negativity surrounding our hobby and within it itself. And we really have to try to make things better and control what we can control. And one of the things we can control is not lying about what we craft. It's totally fine to buy stuff. Nobody should be attacking you if you buy parts of your outfits. And if they do, they're a jerk. So there should be no reason to hide what you didn't craft. If you're hiding and lying, that also makes you a jerk. So you don't want to do that. You want to be nice. You want to be lovely. And of course, we're all not perfect. There are errors. I'm not saying we're all a bad person. Using the same example to Lisa, the first couple times I posted, I did forget to tag her right away and then added it in later. Not because I didn't want to credit her, but because I had never credited someone for crafting a wig for me. That was my first one. And it just slipped my mind. I wasn't used to the format, and I got used to it, and now I never ever forget to credit her. So you're not automatically a bad person for forgetting one time also. Please don't think that I'm saying that. We all make mistakes. We just have to try to be the absolute best we can be. Stop attacking each other for buying stuff for cosplay. It's great. It's all fine. I will do it till the day I die. Do I want to make a jean vest? Absolutely I do not. Do I want to make a leather jacket? Heck no, I do not. I'm going to buy that item. Do I want to sew together a dress because I know that's within my ability? Absolutely. Do I want to try and paint a baseball bat to look like a character's? Heck yeah. We've all got different abilities. We've all got different talents. You can make whatever you want to make. You can buy whatever you want to buy, as long as if you didn't make something, you are being very open and honest about what you bought. That's it. We're at the end. It's really simple. Just be nice. Be honest, you know? This hobby's great. Let's just keep working to make it as good as we can and stop attacking each other for silly things, you know? Who cares if somebody buys something? Whatever. Making is hard. Takes a lot of time. When I have an outfit that I can finally buy instead of make because it's just like regular clothes, it's like a nice little break. I'm like, I can let my sewing machine rest for a couple weeks. What a dream. Alrighty, we are gonna cut this off here because I've said everything I had to say and it's very hot under this wig. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a subscribe if you want to see more cosplay and general nerdy content. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.